If this story stirred something in your heart, give it a like, share your thoughts below, and subscribe to Revenge Forge, where every story reminds us that pain can lead to power. Her lipstick stained the wine glass, but her eyes were on him across the room. I stood in our dimly lit kitchen at 2 a.m., gripping her phone, the screen burning with a truth I wasn't ready for. That was the moment I stopped being her fool. My name's Bradley Monroe, and I'm a 38-year-old financial advisor at a boutique firm in Savannah, Georgia. Life was a well-oiled machine. Dana, my wife of 7 years, was a 30-year-old interior designer with a smile that could sell $1 million condo. We had it all: a restored Victorian home, sunset walks by the Savannah River, and a shared obsession with late-night jazz at hole-in-the-wall bars. My firm managed $25 million in assets, netting me $165,000 a year. Dana's design business pulled in $70,000, enough for her to splurge on silk dresses and us to plan a Tuscany getaway. No kids, but we had dreams. Our friends, guys like my wingman Cole and Dana's confidant Lila, saw us as untouchable. The golden couple. Until the gold started to tarnish. It crept in like fog. Dana's late nights at client meetings grew frequent, her perfume lingering on dresses she hadn't worn for me. Her phone, once an open book, now locked tight, buzzing at odd hours. "Just work," she'd purr, brushing her fingers across my jaw. I bought it. Why wouldn't I? She was my Dana, fierce, loyal mine. But doubt is a slow poison. Her laughter felt rehearsed, her kisses too quick. She'd slip out for errands in heels that clicked like a warning. The first crack came 3 months ago. I was crunching numbers for a $3 million portfolio, eyes bleary from spreadsheets, when Dana texted she'd be late another design consult. I got home at 9 p.m., the house dark, her car gone. Odd. I called. No answer. At 11 p.m. she breezed in, hair tousled, lips glossy. "Client dinner ran long," she said, her voice honey smooth. Her breath carried bourbon, not her usual rose. I nodded, ignoring the knot in my gut. Work, I told myself. Just work. But the knots tightened. She started wearing new lingerie, lace, bold, not my style. Her gym bag held dresses I'd never seen. Once I caught her whispering into her phone, "Not now, I'm home," before hanging up fast. "Who was that?" I asked, casual. She laughed too sharp. Lila being dramatic. Her eyes didn't meet mine. I let it slide, but sleep stopped coming easy. Cole saw it first. We were at a dive bar, neon flickering, beers sweating on the table. "Dana's off, man," he said, voice low. "Saw her at a rooftop bar last week, cozy with some suit. Didn't look like a client." My jaw clenched, but I waved it off. "She's networking." Cole raised an eyebrow. "Networking doesn't look that close." His words stuck a splinter I couldn't pull. The dam broke on a stormy Thursday. I'd left the office early, rain pounding Savannah's cobblestone streets. Dana was at a site visit. Her tablet sat on the counter, a rare oversight. I wasn't prying, not really, but a notification pinged. From Bryce Tolland. Subject: tomorrow night. My chest tightened. I tapped. "Can't wait, babe." 8 p.m., the gray. "That black dress drives me wild." The world tilted. "Babe, black dress," I scrolled, hands shaking. Emails, flirty, raw, stretching back months. Bryce Tolland, 35, a venture capitalist with a shark's grin and a $50 million fund. Photos: Dana in his Porsche, her lips on his cheek. One line seared me: "Bradley's too busy to notice. Let's keep it hot." My wife, my life, a lie. I didn't scream, I didn't break anything. I printed the emails, my pulse a drum, and stashed them in my safe. When Dana got home at midnight, rain-soaked and radiant, I played the part. "Tough day?" I asked, voice smooth as glass. She nodded, kicking off her heels. "Yeah, clients are needy." I smiled, but inside I was a furnace, rage, hurt. And something sharper. Clarity. The next week I became a ghost in my own life. I watched her every move. Her smiles were too bright, her excuses too polished. I dug into Bryce. His LinkedIn painted a predator, charming, ruthless, the kind who'd close a deal and steal your soul. I checked Dana's bank app, $2,000 in unexplained transfers, small enough to miss, big enough to sting. To him, I wasn't sure. But I was done being blind. Cole pushed me to act. We met at a coffee shop, steam curling from our cups. "Confront her, Brad," he said. "This ain't you." I shook my head. "Not yet. I need a knife, not a fist." He grinned, respecting the fire. That's when I remembered Dana's old work laptop tucked in a closet. If it held more, I'd have her. Late that night while Dana was at book club, I booted it up. No password, careless. Her email synced, and there it was, a thread with Bryce dated weeks ago. "I'm falling for you, Dana. Leave him. We'll build something real." Her reply: "I want to, but Bradley's too good. I need time." Too good. The words mocked me. I found more hotel bookings, $600 for a weekend. Texts synced from her cloud. "He's working late. Come over." My hands shook, but I copied everything to a drive. Anger didn't blind me, it focused me. I tracked her. Not proud, but I had to know. One night I tailed her client dinner in Cole's truck. She parked at the Greya chic restaurant with velvet booths. Through the window I saw her with Bryce, his hand grazing her thigh, her laugh a blade in my chest. I snapped photos, my grip iron. I wanted to storm in, but I held back. This wasn't about rage. It was about winning. The twist hit at work. I was pitching a $2 million investment plan when my assistant Nora buzzed me. "Someone's here, Bradley. Says it's urgent." I frowned. "Who?" She paused. "Lila, Dana's friend." My gut twisted. Lila. I met her in the lobby, her face, pale eyes darting. "Bradley." "I'm sorry," she whispered, handing me a flash drive. "I saw Dana with Bryce last month." "I followed them. It's bad." I took it, voice steady. "How bad?" She swallowed. "He's not just her lover. He's been in your house." I recorded it. I drove to a park, rain drumming the windshield, and plugged in the drive. The video was shaky but brutal. Dana and Bryce in our living room, her on his lap, their laughter filling my home. Timestamp 2 weeks ago when I was at a conference. Lila's voiceover: "I didn't want to hurt you, but you need to know." The clip ended with Dana's whisper: "This is our secret, Bryce. Our home. Our bed. Desecrated." I didn't crumble. I burned. I hired a private investigator, Ethan, a grizzled ex-cop with a knack for discretion. Cost me $4,000, but I didn't blink. "Give me everything," I told him. He nodded. 1 week. While Ethan worked, I played the perfect husband. I cooked Dana's favorite steak, planned a movie night, kissed her like nothing was wrong. She melted into it, her eyes soft, oblivious. But I saw the lies in every touch. Ethan delivered in 5 days. We met at a diner, coffee bitter in the air. "Your wife's deep in it," he said, sliding me a folder. Photos: Dana at Bryce's penthouse, their silhouettes in a window. Phone logs: 89 texts in 3 days. A hotel receipt, $700. And a kicker: Bryce's email to Dana hacked from his account. "I'm closing a $10 million deal. Come with me to Miami." Bradley's nothing. Miami. The word was a slap. She wasn't just cheating, she was planning to bolt. I thanked Ethan, my voice ice. At home, Dana was out another meeting. I sat in my study, the folder open, whiskey burning my throat. I wasn't just fighting for me. I was fighting for the man who'd built this life, who'd trusted her. The man she'd betrayed. My firm was hosting a client summit in 10 days. A glitzy event with 200 investors, including Bryce's fund. Perfect. I'd turned their game into my battlefield. I called Lila. "You're coming to the summit," I said. "Bring your evidence." She hesitated. "Bradley, this could ruin her." I smirked. She ruined herself. Next, I looped in Cole. "You're my eyes," I told him. "I need you sharp." He grinned. "Let's make 'em bleed, brother." The summit loomed and I played my role. Dana was ecstatic, picking a sapphire dress that hugged her curves. I complimented her, my smile a blade. She had no idea. Neither did Bryce. But I did. And that was power. The night before the summit, I sat in the dark, the folder glowing under my desk lamp. Photos, texts, videos, a marriage in ashes. I poured another whiskey, the burn steadying me. Tomorrow I'd light the fuse. Dana slept upstairs, her secrets safe in her dreams. I didn't sleep. I burned. The summit was a powder keg and I held the match. The Forsyth Hotel's grand ballroom pulsed with Savannah's elite 200 investors, clients, and power players draped in tailored suits and shimmering gowns. Chandeliers cast golden light, but the air felt electric, charged with my intent. Dana stood near the bar, her sapphire dress catching every eye, her laugh a siren's call. Bryce Tollin worked the room, all slick charm, shaking hands like he owned the night. They hadn't spotted me yet, blending into the crowd with Cole at my side. My folder of evidence burned in my jacket, and Lila's flash drive was a bullet in my pocket. This was no gala. This was war. Cole leaned in, voice low. You sure you want to do this, Brad? It's nuclear. I met his eyes, my jaw set. They lit the fuse. I'm just the explosion. He nodded, respecting the fire. Lila lingered by a column, her face tight, clutching a glass of wine. She delivered the video Dana and Bryce in our home, defiling everything I'd built. Now it was my turn to deliver justice. The evening unfolded like a chess game. Dana played the perfect wife, gliding between clients, her smile a mask I once loved. Bryce schmoozed with investors, his laugh grating my nerves. I sipped bourbon, counting the moves. My firm's summit was a showcase, $35 million in managed assets deals like the $5 million portfolio I'd closed last month. But tonight wasn't about numbers. It was about truth. The program kicked off. My boss, Victor Hayes, took the stage, touting our firm's growth. Polite claps followed. Then he waved me up. Bradley Monroe, our top advisor, has a special announcement. Dana's eyes sparkled with pride, oblivious. Bryce raised a brow, leaning against a table. I stepped to the podium, heart-steady, voice like iron. Thank you, Victor, I said, scanning the crowd. We're here to celebrate trust, loyalty, the bonds that build success. Dana's smile flickered. I plugged the flash drive into the projector. The screen blazed not with charts but with Dana and Bryce. Emails, texts, photos. Her in his Porsche, his hand on her thigh. The hotel kiss. And that gut punch line Bradley's too busy to notice. Let's keep it hot. Gasps erupted. Dana's glass hit the floor, shattering. Bryce's face went white, his charm crumbling. I kept my tone cold, precise. Some bonds are built on lies. Tonight we expose them. I clicked to Bryce's email. Come with me to Miami. Bradley's nothing. The crowd buzzed, heads turning. Dana clutched a chair, eyes wide with panic. Bryce pushed toward the exit, but security, tipped off by Cole, blocked him. I locked eyes with Dana. Anything to add, sweetheart. Her mouth opened, silent. I stepped down the room, parting like a sea. Cole grabbed my arm. You did it, man. Let's go. But the fire wasn't out. Outside, the Savannah night was humid, streetlights glinting off wet pavement. Bryce was by his car, cursing, keys slipping in his hands. I approached, steps deliberate. Running already. He spun, eyes wild. Monroe, you're a dead man for this. I smirked, stepping closer. Threats, that's your play. He lunged, but Cole grabbed his arm, twisting it back. Cool it, Tolland. You're done. Bryce yanked free, glaring. She never loved you. You're nothing. I leaned in, voice low. Then why's she still my wife? He climbed into his car tires, screeching as he fled. Back inside, Dana was gone. Lila found me, her voice shaky. She bolted Bradley. I tried to stop her. I nodded, adrenaline fading to ice. Let her run. She can't hide. I drove home, the folder and drive on the seat, my mind replaying Dana's face, shock, shame, silence. Our house was dark, her car absent. I poured bourbon, the burn grounding me. The summit was my opening shot, but this wasn't over. The next morning, my phone lit up. A text from Dana. I'm at Lila's. Please, we need to talk. I ignored it. Instead, I called Ethan, my PI. Got more, he chuckled. You're a bloodhound, Monroe. Check your inbox. I opened my laptop. A new file, audio from Bryce's penthouse, caught by a legal bug Ethan planted. Dana's voice, raw, desperate. This ends now, Bryce. I'm done. Bryce's reply, venomous. You walk, I'll burn you. I've got your old contracts. One call and your business is ash. My grip tightened. Contracts. What the hell? I drove to Lila's, the audio looping in my head. Dana opened the door. No makeup, eyes hollow. Bradley, I cut her off, raising a hand. Sit. Listen. We sat in Lila's cramped living room, tension choking the air. I played the audio. Dana's face crumpled as Bryce's threat rang out. What contracts? I demanded. She stared at the floor, voice barely audible. Before we married, I worked for a shady design firm. Overbilled clients, faked invoices. Bryce was their VC, pulling strings. I got out, but he kept records. Said he'd leak them if I left him. My pulse roared. Blackmail. She nodded, tears falling. I thought I could control it. Then it grew. I'm so sorry, Bradley. I paced, fury and pity clashing. Why not tell me? She shook her head. I was scared, ashamed. I didn't want you to see me like that. I stopped staring at her. You didn't trust me. That's worse than the affair. Lila hovered in the doorway, silent, her eyes soft with guilt. I walked out, needing space. Dana's voice chased me, but I didn't turn back. In my car, I gripped the wheel, mind spinning. Blackmail shady firms. It sounded like a Reddit stories plot too wild for my life. But Dana's fear was real. So was Bryce's threat. I needed more than her tears. I needed truth. I met Ethan at the diner, grease thick in the air. He slid me a new folder. Tollin's a snake, he said. Those contracts, part of a $1,500,000 scam. He's still running it using Dana's old signatures to dodge audits. I flipped through forged invoices, bank transfers, emails, tying Bryce to the firm. If it went public, Dana could face charges. Why drag her in, I asked. Ethan sipped coffee. Control. She's his shield. If she talks, he's exposed. If she stays, he's safe. I leaned back, gears turning. Bryce wasn't just a cheater, he was a criminal. And Dana, for all her lies, was his pawn. I hated her betrayal, but I saw her trap. Shame locks tighter than chains. I drove to my office, the folder heavy. Nora, my assistant, was there sorting client files. You look like hell, she said, half smiling. I handed her the folder. Check this. Tell me it's legit. She scanned it, eyes narrowing. It's real. This guy's toast if it leaks. The next twist hit like lightning. Nora called me at 1 a.m., voice urgent. Bradley, someone hacked our client database. Tried to flag a $2 million account as fraud, your name's on it. I rushed to the office, the building dark. Nora pulled up the logs. An IP address traced to Bryce's fund. He wasn't just after Dana, he was gunning for me, trying to tank my career. If it stuck, I'd be fired, maybe sued. Nora's eyes blazed. This asshole's playing dirty. What's the plan? I smirked, adrenaline surging. We play dirtier. I called Ethan. Dig into Bryce's accounts. Everything. He laughed. Your tab's growing, Monroe. I didn't care. This was personal. Ethan delivered in 3 days bank records, offshore accounts, emails showing Bryce siphoning $300,000 from his fund. Enough to bury him. But I needed a stage, not just evidence. Cole had a lead. Bryce is keynoting a VC conference next week, he said. Big players live stream. Perfect. I nodded. Like the summit, but global. I spent days planning. Nora cross-referenced Bryce's scams with our database, building an airtight case. Lila kept tabs on Dana, who was laying low, unaware of my next move. I didn't want her involved, not yet. The conference was my chance to end Bryce, not just for me, but for every life he'd poisoned. The day before the conference, Dana showed up at my office unannounced. Her eyes were red, her voice raw. Bradley, I'm turning myself in. I'll give the feds my old contracts, clear your name. I stared, caught off guard. Why now? She swallowed. Because I broke us, but I won't let Bryce break you. I didn't soften. You don't get to play hero, Dana. Not after this. She nodded, tears falling. I know, but I'm trying. She left her heels echoing in the hall. Her words stuck, but I pushed them aside. Dana's redemption wasn't my fight. Bryce was. That night I got a text from Cole. Bryce knows you're coming. He's spooked. Good. Let him squirm. I sat in my study, bourbon in hand, the folder open. Photos, emails, bank records. A life unraveled. But I wasn't unraveling, I was forging something new. The conference morning I got a voicemail from Dana. Bradley, be careful. Bryce is desperate. He's got people watching you. Her voice cracked, scared. I deleted it. Desperate men make mistakes. I was counting on it. At the Savannah Convention Center, the hall thrummed with energy. 500 investors' cameras rolling Bryce's keynote set to stream live. He stood backstage adjusting his tie, oblivious to me in the crowd. Cole was by my side, grinning. Time to light him up, brother. I nodded, my drive ready. Bryce thought he was untouchable. He was about to learn what falling felt like. The conference hall was a crucible, and I was ready to forge Bryce Tollin's ruin. Savannah's convention center hummed with 500 investors, their murmurs blending with the hum of live-stream cameras. Bryce stood center stage, his keynote in full swing, voice smooth as he pitched his $50 million venture fund to a global audience. His suit was sharp, his smile sharper, but I saw the cracked sweat on his brow, a glance at the exits. He knew I was here. Good. I stood in the crowd, my flash drive, a loaded gun, Cole at my side, eyes locked on the target. This wasn't just about Dana anymore. It was about every lie, every betrayal, every smug move Bryce made to dismantle my life. Cole nudged me, voice low. He's rattled, Brad. Hit him now. I nodded, my pulse a steady drum. Nora had synced with the AV team, a $3,000 bribe ensuring our access. As Bryce wrapped his pitch touting transparency and trust, I signaled Nora. She grinned, fingers flying over her laptop. I stepped toward the stage, interrupting the applause. Mind if I add a perspective, I said, voice cutting through the hall. Bryce's eyes widened, his charm faltering. The organizer, a silver-haired exec named Ellen, hesitated but waved me up. Keep it brief, Monroe. I took the mic, facing the crowd, cameras rolling. Bryce shifted, hands clenched. I'm Bradley Monroe, a financial advisor here in Savannah, I began. Bryce talks trust, but let's see his version. Nora hit play. The screen erupted, not with Bryce's slides, but with his sins. Bank transfers, forged invoices, emails tying him to a $1,500,000 scam. Photos of him with Dana, my wife, in our home. His voice chilling from Ethan's bug. You walk, I'll burn you. The crowd gasped, phones flashing as investors recorded. I kept my tone lethal. This man blackmailed my wife, framed me for fraud, and cheated his clients. Trust, he's a thief. Chaos erupted. Bryce lunged for the mic, face red. Lies, he's obsessed. But Nora played another clip, his email to Dana Bradley's. Nothing. Come to Miami. The hall roared, investors shouting, cameras zooming. Ellen grabbed the mic. We're done here. Security hauled Bryce off, his curses drowned by the crowd. I stepped down, heart pounding, Cole clapping my shoulder. You burned him alive, man. I smirked, but the fire in me wasn't out. Outside, the Savannah night was thick, stars hidden by clouds. My phone buzzed, a text from Dana. I saw the stream. I'm so sorry. Please, let's talk. I ignored it, my mind on Bryce's last glare. He wasn't done. Neither was I. I drove to the office, needing focus. Nora was there, eyes bright. You're trending, Bradley. Reddit stories is eating this up. I frowned. Good. Let it spread. She handed me a coffee. What's next? I leaned back, the folder of evidence on my desk. We make sure he stays down. The next twist hit like a freight train. At 3 a.m., Ethan, my PI, called. Monroe, you stirred a hornet's nest. Bryce didn't skip town. He's holed up in a hotel making calls. I sat up, bourbon forgotten. To who? Ethan's voice was grim. Shady contacts. He's trying to pin the scam on Dana. And there's more. Your buddy Cole's been texting him. My blood ran cold. Cole. My wingman. My brother. You're wrong, I snapped. Ethan sighed. Check your email. I opened my laptop, hands shaking. Ethan's file showed text from Cole's number to Bryce dated last week. Monroe's closing in. Keep me out of it. A photo, Cole at a bar with Bryce weeks ago, passing a USB. My chest tightened. Cole wasn't just a bystander, he was a traitor. I thought of his grin, his let's make him bleed. A lie. He'd been playing me, hedging bets with Bryce to save his own skin. I didn't sleep. At dawn, I called Cole to a pier by the Savannah River, the water gray under early light. He showed up casual, a beer in hand. Heard you crushed it, he said, smirking. I slid my phone across the texts on screen. Explain. His face fell, the act crumbling. Brad, listen, I cut him off, voice ice. You sold me out. For what? He looked away, jaw tight. I owed Bryce money. Gambling debts, $15,000. He said he'd wipe it if I fed him intel. I didn't know it'd go this far. I stepped closer, towering. You knew enough. I walked away, his apologies fading into the river's hum. Cole was dead to me. But the hits kept coming. Nora texted at noon, check the firm's server. Someone's leaking client data. I rushed to the office, the building quiet on a Sunday. Nora pulled up the logs, and IP linked to Bryce's fund accessing $4 million in accounts I managed. If it leaked, I'd be blamed, my career torched. Nora's eyes narrowed. He's desperate, Bradley. This is revenge. I nodded, fury rising. Then we end him. I called Ethan. Trace Bryce's hotel. I need his moves. Ethan delivered in hours. Bryce was at a downtown Marriott meeting a fixer to smuggle funds offshore. I also got a bombshell. Dana had gone to the feds, handing over her old contracts to clear her name. She'd named Bryce, risking everything. I didn't know whether to admire her or hate her more. Her betrayal cut deep, but her courage was new raw. I met Lila at a cafe, her face drawn. "Dana's a wreck," she said. "She's trying to fix this Bradley." I sipped coffee unmoved. "She broke us. Fixing's too late." Lila leaned in, voice soft. "She loves you. Always did." Bryce twisted her. I looked away, the words stirring something I didn't want to feel. Love maybe once. Now it was ash. The final twist came from Nora. She called at midnight, voice tense. "Bradley, I found something in Bryce's hacked emails. He's not just scamming clients, he's tied to a bigger player. A $10 million laundering ring." I froze. "Who?" She hesitated. "Victor Hayes, your boss." My world tilted. Victor, the man who'd mentored me, backed my deals, toasted my wedding. I scanned the emails, Victor funneling funds through Bryce's fund using my accounts as cover. If it blew, I'd take the fall, not them. I didn't confront Victor. Too risky. Instead, I built a case. Nora and Ethan worked overtime pulling bank records, emails, call logs. By week's end, we had enough to sink them both. But I needed a platform. The firm's annual board meeting was in 3 days, a closed-door session with 20 execs. Perfect. I'd turned their fortress into my arena. The night before the meeting, Dana showed up at our house uninvited. She stood in the doorway, rain-soaked, no trace of the femme fatale. "Bradley, I'm testifying against Bryce," she said, voice steady. "I don't expect forgiveness, but I need you to know I'm fighting." I studied her, the woman I'd loved, now a stranger. "Why?" I asked. Her eyes met mine, raw. "Because I broke your trust. But I won't break your life." I didn't reply. She left, her silhouette fading into the storm. Her words haunted me, but I pushed them aside. The board meeting was my endgame. I walked in, folder in hand, Victor at the head of the table, all smiles. "Bradley, good to see you," he said, oblivious. I nodded, my drive ready. The execs settled, expecting routine reports. I stood, voice like steel. "We need to talk about trust." Nora patched in, remotely lit the screen. "Bryce's scams Victor's accounts, $10 million in laundered funds." The room went silent, faces paling. Victor's smile vanished. "This is absurd," he stammered. I played an audio, his voice directing Bryce, "Keep Monroe busy. He's expendable." The board erupted. Victor shouted denials, but the evidence was ironclad. Security escorted him out, his threats empty. I sat, adrenaline fading, the execs staring. One, a grizzled VP named Ellen, nodded. "You did good, Monroe. We'll clean this up." I didn't smile. Good wasn't enough. Bryce was arrested that night, his hotel raided, his fixer flipping to the feds. Dana's testimony sealed his fate, 5 years minimum. Victor faced charges, his empire crumbling. My accounts were cleared, my job secure, even a promotion dangled. But victory tasted hollow. I'd won the war, but lost my home. Months later, I saw Dana at a jazz bar alone, nursing a drink. She looked different, quieter, real. She caught my eye, offered a small smile. I didn't approach, but I didn't look away. Lila told me Dana had rebuilt her business, honest this time. Cole vanished, his debts chasing him out of Savannah. Nora became my rock, her wit a lifeline, though nothing romantic sparked. Not yet. I still think of Dana's laugh, Cole's grin, the man I was before the emails and the summit. Was I right to burn it all down, to expose them so brutally? Or did I lose more than I gained, chasing justice over love? I don't know. I'm forging a new path, but the scars remain. What would you have done? Would you have fought, forgiven, or walked away? You're here because this story meant something. Don't scroll away without leaving a thought and your subscription. Revenge. Forge is where real stories find their voice, and yours.